Hello everyone, my name is Ashfaq Ahmed and I work in the field of structural biology and bioinformatics. Today we are going to learn how to perform molecular dynamic simulation using SAMSON. If you want to learn the basic concept of simulation, please watch the previous video on this channel. Video title is Learn the Basic Concept of Molecular Dynamic Simulation. So let's start. Overall, today we will perform these steps. There are almost 5 steps, so that means that this video will be longer. To properly learn all the steps, I suggest fastening of your seat belt. These steps includes preparation, minimization, equilibration, and again equilibration, and production. Let me tell you right now that this tutorial will only teach you the protein simulation. It will not teach you the protein and ligand simulation. Why? Because I have not included the ligand part in this tutorial. It has a reason. The ligand parts need to generate a separate force field and topology files. And if I incorporate that part in this tutorial, it will be much more longer and possibly you may lose your interest in the middle. So that's why I thought, why not I teach you only protein simulation, and then in the next video, I will just teach you the incorporation of ligand simulation, and all these steps will be similar. So if you cover this video, it will be easy for you to incorporate ligand later on. But if I include the ligand part in this video, that will become too heavy for those who are new in the field. And primarily for beginners, it is essential to first learn the basic concept, then learn the protein simulation, then incorporate the ligands. Okay, so now we are heading towards the practical step included in this tutorial. So let's start. So you can see this is my download directory, and I have created a directory named simulation underscore one, and it contains a PDB file 7LWR, and it's not a very big PDB file. It has a reason, because if I use the bigger file, it will take a lot of time, and that's why I want my basic goal is to teach you how to perform the simulation. So it's pretty much uh, good protein, and we will go with this. So you will need to keep your protein in a separate directory like this. Then open Samsung. Let me open. Okay. If you still don't have Samsung, so there is a video. In fact, two videos. One is for the introduction and downloading, and the other one is for Autodock tutorial or docking tutorial. Okay, this is Samsung. You can see. Now I'm going to open the protein file, and which is present in the download section. And in the simulation underscore one, this is the protein file. Okay. Now, if your protein has a water and all those things, so it doesn't matter. Uh, we will, I will teach you how we will proceed. So the first step in Samsung is very easy, and in fact, all the steps are easy, but it's the same step we perform also in docking. You need in the home tab, you need to click the prepare and check this box, remove alternate locations, check this box, add hydrogen. If your system has water, click this box. If your system has ligand, click this box. Because in this tutorial, as I told you, we are not going to incorporate the ligand, so keep tick. And if your system has some ions, tick this box. If you are not sure, tick all the boxes. Doesn't matter and click OK. So I'm sure about my system that it does not contain any water, any ligands, and any ions. You can see it's only the protein. So I just check add hydrogens and remove alternate locations. Click OK. Now the protein is ready for simulation. Now, as I told you in simulation, we will perform 5 steps. Now, from here, you click App, and I have already installed the GRUMAX Wizard Cloud Edition. But if you don't have installed yet, so just click here, Add Apps, and the system will lead you to in a kind of app store. You will see here, and then you will need to sign in here. Once you sign in, then click the marketplace again, and then search for GRUMAX Wizard Cloud Edition. It should be somewhere here. Uh, yes, GRUMAX Wizard, and click. Once you click, you will see a button that will say try. Click here, and I I mentioned this in my last video that please use your institutional ID, not the personal ID, if you belongs to some institution. Okay, I'm going to initiate the Truemax visit. Once you click here, you will see like this kind of window. Now you can see you will see this kind of things, local jobs cloud output, blah blah. Ignore it right now. Here we will need to set the path of the program. Okay, so for that, click here, and the directory you have created in the start, like for me it was in the download. So the directory name was simulation 1 underscore 1. So choose. Now, all the jobs and all the files which will be created, the Samsung will directly send it to there. Now, you can see this is a kind of welcome thing, and it tells you that how many steps you have. So the first step is the prepare step, as I mentioned to you in the slide as well. What we will do in the prepare step, basically, we will do 3 things. We will add water, we will add ions, and we will select appropriate force field. Okay, so you can see the first thing is the choose model. So in the model, you have a list of force field here, and you can see you have charm 27 and some Grumex force field and some Umber force field and some force field, or let's say this Umber 03 force field is for protein and nucleic acid. So it means if your system has a nucleic acid, then this one will be appropriate. But for ligands, because my system will has a unique ligand and your system will has something unique ligand, so therefore it is technically impossible to generate a kind of universal force field that put or that covers all the ligands. So that's why in today's tutorial I will not include the ligand part, and in separate video I will teach you how we will prepare our force field, and then how we will incorporate the force field. If let's say if the force field you are interested in is not here, then you can click this plus option, and here it is the plus option, and we can add a force field, add custom force field, you can see. So we can add a custom force field generated for protein if needed, or specifically for ligand if needed. In today's tutorial, I will select OPLSAA force field for all atom force field, and that's okay. You can go with it in tutorial. Also, you can use this to force field in your research. Okay. Now the second thing is what kind of water system we are interested in. So these are the different kind of water system: TP3, TIP3, GIP5, etc., etc. I'm unable to cover each of these things because it will make the video so longer. So we have many steps to cover. So I recommend to, if you are interested, that what is the difference between these water system, I would suggest to do some reading. Otherwise, you can follow my tutorial. So you can use the SPCE extended simple point charge water system. Okay, now you have to check this box in because it will add the solvent here, and ignore existing hydrogen atoms. Okay, check it. Already the program is telling you or recommended. Now click say system. Once you click this sit system, you will see your protein name here. It means the system is sit. Okay, now you can click this compute box, but what kind of box you are interested in. So normally people, and we will also use the orthorhombic. It's a kind of rectangular box. So I would also suggest to use the orthorhombic, or if you are a specialized user already, so then you should know which one to select. Okay. And what is this 1 nanometer? You can see, let's say, compute the box. Okay. So now you can see a kind of boundaries, sorry, a kind of boundaries, rectangular box that enclose our protein. And if you don't want to show the box, that's okay. Okay, now solute box distance. So what is solute? Solute is actually water, and the box, the distance. So normally by default, the program is offering the distance between the solute and the box like um, how to say, sorry, solute is not water. Solute is actually the protein. Water is solvent. So the distance between the solute and this water, the water box, how much you want. So normally in my simulation, I prefer two, but that makes the system a little bigger. So it's up to you. So if you want to use two, so just increase here up to two. But in today's tutorial, I will use one by default because if you select it two, so the system will become bigger and you will have more water. in the system, and it will take much longer in calculation. Okay, now the third thing I told you, selection of force field, selection of water box. The third thing is to add ions. So by default, you will see positive and negative like NaCl, sodium chloride. Uh, we are also using this salt in TBS buffer normally. So, but if you want to change it to some other salt, you can click uh, from here, the positive side of the salt and the negative side of the salt from here. But currently we will go with sodium ions, and we call it system neutralization. So we will neutralize the system with salt. How many ions are needed to neutralize your system? The GroomX will decide itself. So that doesn't matter. Okay. If you want to add some extra salt, so click here, and then for extra salt, you have to you can select the salt concentration, let's say 0.0225, whatever the concentration. If you want to simulate in high concentration of high salt concentration, so you can check it here. Otherwise, if you go with the number of ions, so you can select. But let the GroomX decide by itself. So we will not. I'm not going to tweak or change this option. And then click here, prepare. So once you click here, you will see this kind of window. So just say proceed. After proceeding, you will see this kind of thing and just click OK. Okay. When you see OK, so you can see, uh, wait, let me see. Okay. So why I saw two things, because probably it was the protein. I didn't check it, but anyway, let's see. Basic thing is to understand you, but in your case, it will not be like this. I had some extra thing, extra selection, and which I did not ignore it because I didn't see earlier on. So now this is your system. Your protein is enclosed in um, one angstrom box. So, and the preparation step is finished. Now we are going to the second step, that is minimize. Okay, or we also call it energy minimization. So, what is energy minimization? Let me tell you, for example, this structure you are using come from PDB, and most of the PDB structure currently are solved by X-ray diffraction or X-ray crystallography. So that means that there is a higher chance of crystal artifacts, and that kept the structure, how to say, uh, hard or just like restriction of flexibility. Because when the crystallographer prepare a protein crystal, they use high concentration of different salts to quench out the water and kept the protein in a kind of uh, to restrict the protein flexibility, and that's why we call it like it's a crystalline structure. So therefore it is necessary to minimize the structure and resume the flexibility. So now The system which is prepared, the results are saved in this directory. Let me show you. You can see this is the prepare result generated just a few moments ago. You can see here. And now we are going towards the minimization. So we need to we need to initiate the files from the same directory. So if you don't know which file to initiate, the group file actually we want to initiate, and if you don't know which one, then click here. So automatically the program will fetch all those files for you. You can see it fetch automatically, like I will use 7lwr prepare.group. Okay, nothing else. Now you have some few parameters. One is called tolerance, step size, maximum number of steps, and saving intervals. If you want to keep it by default, so that is okay. And for the tolerance, we will talk later. For the step size means like how many steps we will go. So by default in your Samsung, you will see 50,000 step, but because my main aim is to teach you, so therefore to save our time, I will choose it 5,000 steps. Okay. Normally, the 50,000 is by default, and I recommend if you are doing it for a research purpose, go with the 50,000 system and saving interval, like in after how many steps the computer should save the results. So 100 is pretty much better. Don't if you make it down, so that's also okay, but it doesn't make any sense, so I think 100 is okay. Okay, for tolerance we will talk once it is finished. Now you can generate inputs. Let's say you want to use these files on some other program, so just click generate inputs. But if you want to use your system to be minimized in the cloud, if you want me like how in the cloud, so let me tell you, if you are my viewer, so I had done too many tutorials on the Google Colab. And if you remember, I always connect to the cloud on the Google Colab. So it's the similar concept is here. But the point is that if you want to perform something on the cloud, so you have to pay for it. And here you can see, you will see this kind of thing, show credits or high credits. So I have already my credits, like you can see 99.57 credits I have. So uh, I bought it, and if you guys want to buy, so once you click here, they will lead you like to the payment window. So that's up to you. And if you are with a good system, then you can click minimize locally, and it's free. It will not charge you anything. So click here. So now you can see the minimization process has started and it's finished because I choose 5,000 steps. So once it's finished, then you will see this kind of window. Um Now you have the option to load the last frame or to load all the frames. Okay, so let's say I'm selecting load all the frames. Here, what you want to load, so the whole system or the protein, I would say, okay, just protein. Okay, and then click OK. Once you click OK, you can uh, cross this, but wait. Okay, now comes down. Okay, so I want to tell you something, and it will help you like whether your minimization is successful or not. So the program also generates some plot. If you see here, okay, so this plot shows you the potential energy functions or the potential energy information on the y-axis and the energy minimization on the x-axis. So first of all, you can see a very beautiful evolution of the minimized energy on the plot. But how will you know whether I mean, whether the results are okay or not? I mean, like this. So how will you know? So the plot shows you the evolution of the system to the minimized energies. Okay. The plot also shows that the convergence of the energy. So apparently, it seems better, like from the higher energy to the lower energy. But technically, you need to check it whether the system is minimized successfully or not. So the important thing you need to consider here is the first thing to confirm that the potential energy comes down. You can see it comes down. Yes. But the second thing, you need to consider the maximum force against the tolerance. So if you see here, we selected the tolerance ratio to 1000. Okay. So now, if you comes to this, the last part of this output, you will see the steepest descendant converge to F max smaller than 1000. Okay, so if you see that the F max is greater than 1000, it means your system has some problem. What kind of problem? The problem is that the steps you selected here, let's say I selected 5000, so you need to increase it exponentially. Let's say if you have used 40,000, so just increase it to 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. So, but what will be the successful convergence if your F max is smaller than 1000? Okay, so it's the easy way I could teach you, and I'm not going for the extra details because the extra details of all these things needs so many explanations. And normally, the simulation part in some university they teach them in a complete course, and that is fair enough. But here, I want to just tell you how you will perform quickly. Okay, so the preparation part is done. You can see here a second result is generated here with the this was the prepare, this is the minimize, and the plot, if you are interested, already generated here and should be here. You can see this is the plot of your minimization thing, and these are all the log files and whatever if you are interested in, so you can check it here. Now we are heading toward the third step, that is the equilibrate NVT. What stands for NVT? NVT stands for constant particles, volume, and temperature. Okay, so what is NVT basically? That was the abbreviation. In NVT equilibration, we prepare the system, we add the solvation box, we added the ions, we selected the force field, we minimize the protein. Okay, now what is then equilibration? So the equilibration means that the introduction of your system with the variables. Simply, I can explain this way. So, what are the variables then? The variables are temperature, pressure. Okay. So, in NVT, basically, we introduce our system to the temperature we desired for simulation. For example, your desired temperature is 300 Kelvin or 300 K. So first of all, in NVT, we will introduce our system um, to the desired temperature on which you are thinking to perform simulation. And how we will do once again, if you don't know which file to load from the minimization step, which is stored from the minimization results, which are stored in the this directory, just click here. Samsung is fair enough smarter. So once again, by default in your system, you will see 50,000 steps that are equals to zero point 0.1 nanosecond. Remember 0 0.1 nanosecond, but I will go with 5,000 step. I mean 0 0.01 nanosecond. So so why again why I'm selecting this smaller ratio, because I want to come should I want it to complete quickly. And saving interval should be 500. Last time in minimization we selected 100. Here it is 500. That is fair enough. It has nothing to do. Okay. Now you will need to click here, and here are some important things I want to discuss with you. So first of all, once you click here, you will see so many options, but you don't need to go through all the options. The first one is pre-processing. So you have to check this box. So this box means you actually apply a restraint to the protein. What it means, actually in equilibration, we do not want our protein to be simulated exactly. We actually want our whole system to be familiar with the temperature we are interested in for simulation. So that's why now, so I kept the protein restraint that you are not allowed to move, because protein is already minimized in the previous section. So there is no value for the protein to start the simulation. So therefore, we kept the protein in a restraint form. Okay, now we will come here to the temperature coupling. In the temperature coupling, you have different options like coupling of thermostat. Normally, if you don't know about many things, so I would suggest to use just the velocity rescaling. Okay, and that's better. And if you are using something, groups, etc., so you can couple. But once again, I'm not going to the group things, because that will make the things much more complicated. So let's stay with the original or the basic simulations. So what is the reference temperature? The reference temperature is actually the value you are interested in. So here it is by default 300 Kelvin. Let's say you are interested in 310. Okay. If you change this, then you will also need to change the reference temperature in the velocity generation. Okay. So now the next step is to click here and to see the Maxwell distribution, the generate velocity is yes, on which on what temperature? 300 Kelvin. So again, don't make any error. If you are using 300 here, then it should be 300 here. If you are using 310 here, then it should be 310 here. And then click OK. Now once again, you have three steps: generate input. So I don't think so you will work for it. You will be interested in these two. So equilibrate in the cloud. If you have credits, just click here. It will not make any burden on your system. Otherwise, click equilibrate locally. Because I'm using very lower value, and I will also suggest you to use the smaller values during learning, so it will be quicker. Okay, now equilibrate locally, and it started. You can see, and you can see here 15, 16, 17, 19. So I have choose already uh 5,000 steps, so be it will be finished quickly. And remember, the 5,000 steps are equal to zero point zero 0.01 nanosecond. So for bigger steps are like for higher steps in nanosecond, you will need to change these steps. Normally, if you ask me how much we need to do, I think 1 nanosecond is sufficient for this equilibration. Okay. Now load all frames, or you want to load the last frame, that is up to you. If your system is not so good in RAM, RAM, then choose this one, the last frame. But I have a good enough RAM for this job, so I can select this one. Okay. Now here check the protein again and select OK. Now I will close this. Okay, once the equilibration NVT is finished, so you can see this kind of graph. I told you in the start of NVT that actually we are going to introduce our system to the temperature. Our temperature was 300 Kelvin. So the temperature, you in the start you will see a kind of fluctuation, but that is fine. But overall, at the end of the steps, you should see the stable behavior of temperature. So although I have the time is in picosecond, it is 10 picosecond or zero point zero 0.01 nanosecond. So, but still, you can see I achieved, the system has achieved the temperature of 300 simulation, 300 Kelvin. Okay. Now, once again, check here. So we have now the third result, and the third result is about the NVT. And if you are interested in that figure, so already saved here, and that's it. Now we are moving towards the second equilibration, that is the NPT. So if you want to read about it, just keep your how to say, keep your mouse here. It will also show you. I don't. Okay, possibly not. Okay, sometime it will show you, sometime not. Maybe. Okay, so once you click the NPT, okay. Now, what is NPT against the again you by abbreviation, it is the constant uh, number of particles, and then pressure, and then temperature. Okay, so in this, excuse me. Okay, so in this equilibration, now we have included another thing, that is the pressure thing. So what actually in the pressure thing we are interested, because our system contains solvent. So actually we are interested, or we want to stabilize the density of our system. So on the given pressure, the pressure normally we are using 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay. So come from where we will choose the file. If you don't know, click here. The system will pick it automatically. Okay. Now maximum number of steps. Again, you will see 50,000 here, but I'm using a smaller number. Okay. Now, leave all these things. Click here. Again, click this one. It should be turned on this way. And nothing more, much more to see. But if you want to change something, so you need to click here the pressure coupling. Like if you want to change the pressure or some coupling method, so by default that is the series scale, so that is fine. And this is the isotropic by default. It is selected and it is fine. Click here. Once again, you have three options, so no need to explain this time. Just click equilibrate locally. So you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So remember, my system is quite good. Still, it takes this much time for zero point zero 0.01 nanosecond. So you can guess how much, and although I'm using a very smaller protein, so you can guess how much will it be for a heavy system, for a heavy, from the system, I mean the protein system, not the computer system. Okay, load all the frames. Here the protein and then K. Now this time you will have these graphs. The first one, the first graph shows the density and it should be stabilized near the 1000. You can see it is 1011. It reaches here, but I'm using very few number of steps. So that's why if I use 50,000 or like those steps, so you will see a quite good stability or the of the density. But remember, it should be near or adjacent to the 1000 value. Why? Because I'm using the SPC model and the SPC experimentally the density of this model is 1000 kg per meter cube. So that's why if you are using the SPC, so the system density should be um, near to the 1000, little below or little high, that is okay, but 1000. Now this is the pressure thing. So you will see little bit of kind of fluctuation. That is okay. That doesn't matter. And this is the temperature thing. So if you see, it start from 300 and goes up and down. But again, I'm using too little, what to say, too little steps. So that's why we can see that it's going down. But if you use more steps, because if you are doing it for research, you will not use 5,000 steps. You will use at least I would suggest 1 nanosecond. So for 1 nanosecond, it will be 2 5. I mean 50,000, 50,000, 250,000. Okay. So that will be equal to, those steps will be equal to for 1000. And if you don't know, you can see 250,000. No, in fact, yes, so the half of it, whatever you can decide for, it tells you here. So don't confuse yourself. To calculate the steps like how much you will need, you can see here. Okay. So that's it. The equilibration is finished. You can see the NPT equilibration is also finished. Now we have the NPT here, and all those three graphs are here. If you are interested, you can see here. And if you are interested to plot by yourself, so check these files. It will give you all the things, so you can replot it. Replot them. Okay. Now, finally, we reach to the simulation thing. Click here. Why I click here? You know that like because uh, it will load the files automatically from the previous step. If you don't know which file to load, again, I'm going to simulate it for smaller steps. This time, when you click here, you don't need to check this box. It should be unchecked because we want the protein to be simulated and we want the protein to be free without any restraint. Okay, nothing more to choose here. Running control, that's okay. All these leave it as a default. Now again, uh, so many people asked me on the Samsung video that whether the Samsung is free or not. I answered them, yes, it is free. Keeping in mind, if your system is good enough, Samsung will not charge you. Just click simulate locally. But if your system is not good enough, you have to purchase the credits. Even if you are performing simulation by the Google Colab, I will also cover that video sometime, not soon, but maybe month or after months I will cover it. But also, if you are interested in simulation, you have to purchase some credits. Okay, so once again, I want to tell you, normally I don't tell these things. If you have a simulation and you want me to perform it for you, so I have good guys, and but the problem is they will charge you. So you can contact me and they can give you some price and with all analysis because they will also use their own credits. These are my credits, but those people are those guys. They are just kind of you can say kind of a company, and they will give you good prices because they are living in my country, so our currency is not dollar. So that's why they will, even if they give you in dollar, but the prices will be good enough to bear. Okay. So let's say simulate locally or simulate in the cloud. So that's up to you. If you run in the cloud, then you will have the status here, and from there you can download those results. And if you run in this locally, then of course the result will be there. If you want to use it on some other system, then click only the generate inputs and download it. Okay. So I clicked here, simulate locally. Now the simulation is working, and It will take possibly 1 minute. So you can think if my computer is fair enough or good enough, but still it takes almost 1 minute for zero point zero 0.01 nanosecond for a smaller system. How much it will be for a bigger system? Okay, now they will ask you by default to for RMSD calculation. So click the backbone and then select the RMSD calculation again. Normally, people are doing or we are doing RMSD calculation on the backbone. So click OK and select a group to compute the radius of gyration. So I think protein is OK. OK, click OK. Now, once again, load all frames here, protein, and keep it none and click it. Okay, I will close this log. Now, this is the radius of gyration thing. It tells you whether the system is opening during the simulation or closing like that. And this is the RMSD thing. They tell you this is the time in nanosecond because we have choose zero point zero 0.01 nanosecond. And this is the RMSD thing. So the RMSD difference that came from 0.075. So for other analysis like RMSF and other analysis, you can use some other programs or even you can use SAMSON, but I will cover it in some other video because I can see this video time is now 52 minutes. So it's getting already a longer one. And now let me show you about the simulate results. So here are the your trajectory files and the groove files and all the things you can run it. You can analyze it in VMD if you have. So that's not a big deal. Okay, final notes. Why I suggest you to use simulation, use Samsung for simulation. Did you observe one thing? You do not need to install Grumex. You do not need a Unix or Linux system. You do not need to install different things, each and everything in one window. That is another aspect. I love this program. Because I only download Samsung, I ready-madely used the Vina, I use the Grumex, and I will show you how we can do much more magics in this one window. So now let me show you the simulation thing. Okay, last if you can see all the box are ticked. So let me first uncheck these boxes because for all the step the results are loaded here. So let me uncheck. Okay, this is the only the protein, and these are the last thing, the simulation. So let me click here, double click. Now you can see. So that's it. Now it's up to you how to perform simulation to take someone's help to prepare by your own self, or even I told you that I can help you, but that will be a bad thing. So let's see. My job was to teach you how to perform simulation with Samsung. Okay, I'm not going to take much longer. If you like this kind of tutorial, please like the channel, subscribe, and share it to your friends. And if you need me to improve something, please suggest. I don't mind your suggestions, your compliments. Nobody might mind compliments, but I welcome all your suggestion. Even I welcome your criticism if you have. So please be open and stay happy. And That's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.